Am I the a-hole for covering the cost of travel for my wedding guests? This is my first time on Reddit. Please excuse any mistakes I make. Ever since my 30F and my now husband, 31M got together, we talked about how we both wanted a small wedding in the city we met, New Orleans. We both went to school there, but we live on the East Coast now. We're both very fortunate to have careers that pay us extremely well, so we knew we could have the wedding of our dreams. My husband's best friend from college owns a jazz club in NOLA and told us we could have our wedding there for free. We both chose vintage rings that didn't cost nearly as much as we budgeted for. My dress and his tux were both second-hand from an amazing thrift store near us. We didn't choose anything crazy for cake, flowers, decorations, etc. We're not very materialistic people. Because of this, we had a lot of our wedding budget left over. With the remainder of our budget, we decided to cover all the travel expenses for our 20 out-of-state guests, including plane tickets, hotel, meals at the restaurants we wanted to take them to, my bridesmaids' dresses, his groomsmen's suits. We really didn't want any of our guests to put themselves out for our wedding, especially since we chose to have it in a different state. We surprised them with this, and there were a lot of tears, and it was really sweet. Fast forward to the day before everyone was supposed to leave for NOLA, I got a text from one of my guests, my close friend from college. She said after a lot of thinking, she and her husband found it inappropriate of us to have surprised them with covering their travel expenses. She said they felt offended that I assumed they couldn't pay for it, and they felt uncomfortable being controlled like that, so they wouldn't be attending. I was genuinely just shocked. I couldn't deal with that so close to my wedding, so my amazing bridesmaids handled it for me. I even asked some of my other guests if they felt the same way, but everyone said no, their plane and hotel tickets were non-refundable, and we got everyone custom gifts, so they are just sitting in my house now. Luckily, the wedding was absolutely amazing. Genuinely the best day of my life. I'm just so at a loss about this. My sister said I should bill them for the money I lost, but I don't know if that would be appropriate. Should I apologize for springing it on them and explain I didn't mean to offend them? We just feel like it would have been inappropriate of us to expect our guests to spend a bunch of money on our wedding when we're fortunate enough to cover it. So am I the a-hole for covering the cost of travel for my wedding guests?
Here are the top comments, plus Opie's reply.
Not the a-hole. What a weird thing to get offended over. You know, I'll bet that if you hadn't paid for them, they would have been offended about having to pay their own way. You can't win. So-called friends who are looking for an excuse to get offended, they get dropped. I don't have enough time for that sort of bullshit in my life.
Not the a-hole, though. I don't know how you would book their flights without their cooperation, consent.
OP replied,
We didn't book anything until after we told them we were going to. Everyone was involved in the booking process for their plane tickets and hotels.